Hello, if you can hear me, say Golbez. Golbez is coming. Trademark. Alright, Golbez. Alright, we got some Golbezes in the chat. You guys are the bad guys of the game. There is no further evil beyond him. Alright, today is day 29 of Final Fantasy IV Translation Comparison. Whatever set this is. I don't have a whole lot for this intro, but let's look at what we're dealing with today. Looks like today we're going to finish up the Sylph Cave stuff, go back to Yang and get all that, then go back to Yang's wife and get the, what is that, the spoon, the kitchen knife, and then we'll go a couple more loose ends maybe, if I can find them. Then we'll head to the moon, and to do that we have to go to Mysidia, and then stuff happens there. Then we get to the moon and stuff will happen there. The important thing is that we don't want to take the flight crystal back to Earth. Otherwise that starts the next major story section. So we might, if there's time, we'll go to the Bahamut Cave. And yeah, okay, that's what we got. So it looks like there's at least 1, 2, 3, 4 more streams. So at least this week and then into next week. Oh yeah, okay. So yesterday, near the end of the stream, I was getting tired and I was getting confused about this side quest. I got this line with Yang's wife wrong, so I wanted to correct it. She basically says like, "Oh, but he's pathetic. Koitsu de gatsun to katsu oriete kina." That means like, go pound some motivation into him with this. For some reason, I kept thinking that we're gonna get the kitchen knife at that point, and then the word ireru in there. I was like so confused by that. Like, you're gonna stick a knife in him? And so that threw me off. All right. Another thing that we saw yesterday is the Engetsurin, which was one of the weapons that we could get for Edge. But the problem is, or that we discovered, is Engetsu can mean 2 different things in Japanese. Engetsu can mean the full moon, or it can also mean the half moon or the crescent moon, depending on the kanji you use. So it was weird, and so I didn't know how to translate it at the time. And people were suggesting I look at the official art book, the official guides at the time, and that's what we're seeing on the screen here. We're seeing like a circular disc weapon. So I would assume that's a full moon or round moon. And it even gives us the kanji here, which suggests the round moon. So like the full moon possibly. It's like round moon and then ring, not like a ring that you put on your finger, but just a ring shape. And that's what we're seeing over there. For a reference, this was translated as full moon in FF2, Super NES. It's full moon in FF6, Super NES. For FF7, it became razor ring, and then in FF8, it became the pinwheel, and then for FF5 for PS1, which came out after. And it became moon ring. So there we go. So some of my confusion was not my fault necessarily, but I'm glad that this guide exists and that the chat helped me remember. I'll go look at the art. Thanks for all that. I don't think there's anything more for the intro right now, so let's get to the game and see how far we get today. All right. Right now we have Super NES is at negative 989, J2E is at negative 1138, and Namingway is at negative 974. Again, they're kind of all similar in my mind, except for J2E. Even if we took off the extra scoring detriments, I think J2E would still be at the lowest at this point. Just the sheer number of additions they were making. Yeah, I guess it's kind of like if FF2 and Namingway are cutting text all the time, J2E was reveling in the fact that it could add all the text it wanted. And so there's just a bunch of text additions. So they kind of balance each other out. But I would think for most people, made up nonsense fanfic stuff is probably a turnoff if you want to play a legitimate translation. We are currently outside the Sylph Cave. We're gonna go back inside the Sylph Cave, I guess. There's some reason I wanted to go out of here. Why did I want to leave this place? Alright, let me figure out what my thinking is. Why do I want to leave this place right now? Nothing there. Okay, Mysidia will do in a second. In a few minutes. Adamant. We already did the Yang stuff. What am I doing out here? Why do I have this urge in the back of my head that I need to come out here and do one final thing on something. Okay, well, let's go back in. Right. Going back in. While we're going back in, I want to try to find those other chests that I missed. Yeah, I want to learn how to do PlayStation programming stuff, just basic programming, so that I can dump FF stuff, FF5, FF4, FF6. Look at those scripts, see all those little differences. Alright, I gotta try to remember how to do this. Well, I think I kind of remember now. FF4 and PlayStation was pretty wacky in some places. It'd be kind of neat to go through a full play of that, I guess. Right. This feels like I'm going the wrong way again. This feels like this is the correct way to go to Yang. Well, let's get some experience while we're here. And get some Leviathan on these evil dreams. I've been listening to the VODs. I'm about 3 to 4 VODs behind. But I hit the part where like J2E really starts making up stuff. And I can tell the tone of my voice is just like, I'm like, not upset, but just amused at how much they mess up, how much they add. Alright. Killed those evil dreams. Good experience in there. Wash away your evil dreams. Oh yeah, this might be the right place. Now I take the bottom one, right? Or this middle one, I mean. Gotta go in here. It's interesting that the float spell can be cast on multiple people, but for like the same cost. Alright. We have some more chests. We have the Ikazuchi no Ya, it's a thunder arrow. Ice arrow. Fire arrow. Okay, I don't know why you gave me those. Ether. And high potion. Oh, I came all this way for this junk. Can I put them back in those chests, please? Is that what they are? They're like the trash cans of other adventurers. They just leave those trash cans. Here's my trash can. Throw away his stuff here. Kotetsu I don't really need, I don't think. Oh, I don't need this. When I get FuSoYa, what is like, does the fairy rod, is that good to have on him? He's gonna be nearby soon. Alright. Does that take care of all the chests of this place? Uh-oh, we got attacked by 2 Maroboros and an undergrounder. I think I can handle it. Come on, Rydia. I need you to. Can the frog do the spell? Nope. Especially if it was muted. A mute frog. Ah, crap. Cecil keeps trying magic. Oh no! She died. Everyone run! Rydia died. She got digested. I didn't see what the text said in all the versions. Maybe I should go back and find out. Now to bring Rydia back to life. Right. Back out in this section. Yeah, doing this the first time must have been really rough. Now that I'm familiar with the place, it's not as bad, but boy, it sure is rough. Alright, I'm gonna try to kill these guys. I'm gonna have to kill all the plant life down here. This is an underground cave, there shouldn't be plants. Alright. The frog hit a little tree. That's good experience though. Alright, gotta heal everything up. Man, if we had to use every individual item on this would suck so bad. Now we are on our way. We're on our way to see Mr. Yang. Okay, we're back at the weird underground house. What's the address for this place? All that's the same. Now we have to talk to Yang and use the fry pan from his wife. This is domestic violence, Nintendo of America. Don't you know that? Alright. So we're about to use the fry pan, but then the Sylph says, ah, yame. And so that means, ah, stop. Like they're about to say stop or don't do that, but they don't finish their sentence. So like, ah, yame. Super NES, that becomes, oh, don't. J2E, ah, stop. And naming way, oh, don't. What do we got in J2E here? Stop I used to say? That's strange. Probably trying to say stop it. Okay, we hit him with the pan. To this, Yang says moo, da da da. He's just kind of mumbling sound as he's waking up, I guess. This becomes M in Super NES, U H in J2E, and M in naming way. Japanese is like All right. He then goes on to say da da da. Mo shugyo no shikan ka? Is it already time for training? Mo shibaraku nekasete. Let me sleep a little while more. A little longer. He's not saying it necessarily like a warrior or anything. It's a little bit. It's not like super disciplined. Okay. Super NES. He goes and then goes again. Already the time for training. Let me sleep a little longer. This extra the in there feels a little weird, but I'll say it's fine. There's no reason for that to take any points off. J2E. Is it time for training already? Let me sleep a little longer. Okay, that's good. Naming way. Is it time for training? Let me sleep a bit longer. Okay, all good. Okay, Yang looks around. He's in his bed. He's looking around. Then Yang says, Ha, Sesiru dono. I'm not quite sure what this ha could be. It could mean like, you know, when you're saying stuff if you're in the military or something, but it's more, I think it's more just like he's making a surprised realization sound. One ha. Sesiru dono, like Sir Cecil, Lord Cecil, something like that. Super NES, this becomes, oh, Cecil. So that dono falls off. He's always using that with Cecil, dono. Like Sir or Lord or something like that. Okay, J2E. Sir Cecil. Okay, I'll say that's fine. And then naming way takes out that first sound, whatever that ha, that like sharp, sudden realization sound maybe. Takes that out there. Because there's an exclamation in there, I'm going to take off a point because it was kind of part of the delivery. Okay, next part, Cecil says Yan. And Rydia says, Yokata, that means Yang, thank goodness. Super NES, Yang, oh great. J2E, Yang, I'm so glad you're safe. Okay. And then, naming way Yang, and then you're alive. It's a little different, saying you're alive, but we'll say it's fine. Okay, Yang then says, Shirufu tachi ga shini kakete ita watashi o sukutte kureta. Oh, I need to drink some water. That means the sylphs, saved me when I was on the edge of death, on the brink of death. Does that show up on here? Shini kakeru. Yeah, I was about to die, close to death. Alright, Super NES. Sylph saved me when I was in trouble. So they took out the part about dying, so I'll mark off there. J2E. The Sylphs pulled me from the jaws of death. That's such a strange phrase and can give like the wrong ideas. Oh, Rydia used to say, I'm so glad you're okay. That's fine too. Alright, naming way. Ah. I don't know where this ah is coming from. Why is that in there? It's strange. The Sylph saved my life. They like rescued me when I was facing death or something like that. Alright, I'm gonna say this is okay, but this could be better. I feel like they didn't necessarily save the life, just saved him when he was on the verge of dying. There's a little bit of a difference there. This makes it sound like they went and, especially the J2E also, it makes it sound like they went to the tower and saved him in some way. Alright, next part. Rosa says, Okage de ano kyodai ho wa hakai sareta wa. Thanks to you, that giant gun, that giant cannon was destroyed. Okay, Super NES. This gets rephrased as, your brave act saved the dwarves. Alright. I won't say that this is like factually wrong, but as a translation it doesn't represent what the original was, so I'll mark off here. Alright, J2E. Thanks to you, the giant gun was destroyed. So here where they're saying giant gun, we've seen it say cannon at other times in J2E. And then, naming way. Your bravery saved the dwarves, so I'll mark off there too. You can see that they're pulling from the Super NES there. Okay, so someone is saying in the chat, in Pixel Remastered, the mystery of how these Sylphs know Yang's name is that they explain it as he said his name before collapsing in front of the cave. So he said his own name before he collapsed. Yang then says, Watashi no iko, I will go too. So he's basically saying, I will go with you. I will accompany you, or something like that. Watashi no iko. And then ... Super NES. I am ... going with you ... Okay, that's good. Showing that he's definitely not in a condition to be helping us. J2E. I'm going with you, ... Okay, we'll say that's fine. Naming way. I'll ... go with you ... Okay, good. Then the Sylph, one of them says Dame netenaksha, or netenaksha. Dame netenaksha. That means no, you need to sleep. No, you need to stay in bed, something like that. Supernius. No, you stay and rest. Okay. J2E. No, you have to sleep. Technically not necessarily sleep. Okay. Naming way. No, you must rest. Okay. Yang looks over to the Sylphs and says, Sekai ga kakate runda. The world hangs in the balance. Netteru wake ni wa. I can't just stay in bed. It's an unfinished sentence though. That's kind of what he's saying. I can't just stay in bed. Alright. Supernius. The whole world is in danger. I cannot. Alright, we'll say that's fine. I wish it would say I cannot stay in bed or something like that. I cannot just stay in bed. I cannot. It's so weird here. Alright. J2E. The fate of the world hangs in the balance. I cannot just lie here. Okay, that's good. Used to say I cannot stay here and sleep, which also would have been fine. Okay, naming way. I cannot rest while you risk your lives. So the part about the world is not in there. And while we risk our lives, that's not in there either. Alright. Edge then pops in and says, Kega ni no deru maku janeze. This is no time for an injured person to take the stage. Alright. Supernius. It's no place for the injured man. This phrasing actually is pretty good. I kind of like it. It's not like 100% ideal, but it gives off a good vibe of how he feels in Japanese here. This jane and this ze in there. There's no place for the injured man. This feels like it's probably a draft 2. J2E. This isn't a place for a wounded guy like you. Like, this is kind of missing some of the feeling I get. Used to say this ain't a place. Yeah, ain't would be better here. I would say ain't would be better. Alright, naming way. That's no job for the injured man. If you take out that comma, it still works. That's interesting. That's no job for the injured man. Alright, we'll say that was fine. Yang looks back and says, Sonatawa, and that means like, who are you? Or who's that? Supernius, who are you? J2E, who are you? Naming way, who are you? Again, without that, it turns into who are you? Gotta watch, you gotta be careful with the font that eventually gets used. Okay. Edge then says, Ore wa Eburana no Edgy. I'm Edge of Eblana. Anta ijo ni ude wa tatsusa. I have more skill than you. I'll have you know, something like that. I'm more skilled than you. Somewhere, as I recall, when we did the Google translation of this 10 years ago, this was where, somewhere in the scene was where we got a really weird line to happen called, and it translated as Sombat Servation. Like, it just, all one word, Sombat Servation. Made no sense. I even did a single video on that word, trying to figure out what it was. To this day, I still don't understand how that happened. And when I look at how AI translates things today, I still feel like AI still is that way, where it will, people say it will hallucinate, but maybe it's not a hallucinate, it's more like it goes down weird paths that you don't expect at some point. So the stuff we were seeing in the Google Final Fantasy IV translation 10 years ago, I think we're seeing that now. It's just because the new Google translation stuff and all of AI translation, it makes much more readable and logical sounding output that we trust it more. I think that's how it feels. All right. Okay. So I'm Edge of Iblana. I'm more skilled than you. Okay. Super yes. I'm Prince Edge of Eblon. So Prince was added in there. We'll say that's fine though. Much better at fighting than you, man. Okay. J2E. I'm Edge of Iblana. I'll be a lot more useful than you would. It's not about usefulness, it's about skill. I'm gonna mark that off in J2E. Naming way. And Prince Edge of Eblon, they're doing the Prince again. Looks like they're pulling from Super NES. Don't worry, I can cover for you. No, he's being like arrogant, big-headed, you know. So mark that off. Then Yang says, Eburana, ninja ka. So Eblana, a ninja, huh? Watashi mo, ... exclamation. Then me too. Says Eblana, a ninja, huh? Then I'll also. Okay. Super NES. Eblon, so you are a ninja. Then I will. J2E. Eblana, a ninja. I'm coming too. Alright. So that's fine. Naming way. Eblon, so you're a ninja. But I must. Okay, I kind of like that one, maybe the best. Okay, so Pixel Remaster says, we found him lying near the mouth of the cave. He told us his name, but then he passed out. I wonder if that's in the Japanese. Alright. Then, okay. So Yang says, I'm gonna join you. The Sylph says, Mucha shinaide, don't be reckless, don't be crazy, something like that. Watashi tachi mo shikaru o kasukara. We'll lend you our help too. We'll lend them our help too. So first saying, don't be crazy or reckless to Yang, and then saying that they're going to lend help to the party. Alright, Super NES. No, don't force yourself. We'll help them instead. Okay, we'll say that that's okay. J2E. Don't be ridiculous. We'll help them. Just don't be ridiculous. I'm not liking that. Mucha. I mean, I can see how it would get in there. It's like absurd, unreasonable, excessive, rash, absurd, nonsense. Like this is like don't do anything reckless. Don't do anything absurd. Okay, I'll just mark it off. It's kind of weird there. Naming way. No, you can't. We'll help them instead. It's very minor. It's not a big deal. Okay, Yang then says question mark. And that is everywhere except for naming way. I'm confused. Is this possibly another naming way repoint? I hope not. Yang 2, 3, 2, 9, 13 naming way repoint. Yeah, it looks like they're really cutting space, but I want to just be sure. So then I'll mark off on naming way here for not having the Yang in here. Alright, so the Sylph then says, Kono hito wa shoukanshi desho? This person is a summoner, right? Shoukanshi nara watashi tachi o yobidaseru wa? If she's a summoner, then she can summon us. Right. Super NES. She is a caller. She can call us. Boy, that's really just trimmed down. Alright, I'll skip it for now, but I might mark a point off in a second. We'll see. J2E. This person's a summoner, right? She'll be able to call us. Okay, that's good. In the naming way. Oh, man. I'm going to mark off another naming way there just because I don't know how to deal with it. Okay, next. The Sylph continues. Watashi tachi mo tatakaimasu. We will fight too. Yan no kawari ni. In Yang's place. So we'll fight too in Yang's place. Okay. Super NES says, we'll help you. Okay, we'll say that this is we'll fight too, but then the Yang line is missing, so I'll mark that off. J2E. This person's a summoner, right? She'll be able to call us. We'll fight in your place. Alright, I want Yang's name to be in there. I know it's kind of weird to not. Alright, and then naming way says, Miss Summoner, call us anytime. Okay. The part about Yang is missing. What else is missing? We'll fight too. Alright, we'll say that's enough. Kiridia then says, Yoroshiku ne, Shirufu-san. So, it's good, it'll be good working with you, Sylph, Mr. Sylph, Miss Sylph, whatever you want to say. It's good working with you. Nice to meet you, Sylphs. Thank you, Sylph, something like that. Okay, Super NES, that just becomes thank you. Doesn't say Sylph-san. J2E. Pleased to meet you, Miss Sylph. Are Sylphs, like, technically all women, I wonder? Alright, we'll say that's fine. And naming way says thank you. I'll say that's fine too. Okay, so this next line coming up is the one where I think the J2E patch, if you tried it on the J2E patch, the game might soft lock possibly. I'll have to test that off screen and let you guys know. Okay, so if I'm right, some control codes at the end of this line try to do an invalid control code in the old J2E patches. So here it says, Rydia ga shirufu o oboeta. Rydia learned Sylph. You can see there's no little like magic symbol in there, but we see it in Super NES and Rydia learned Sylph in Super NES. J2E, Rydia learned Sylph. In naming way, Rydia learned Sylph. Yang looks down in bed again and says, Katajike nai, ... So that's kind of like, thank you or I'm sorry. It's kind of like a warrior's way of saying sorry or thank you sometimes. Katajike. How does that show up on here, I wonder? I'm grateful or indebted, I guess. Katajike nai. Watashi no bun mo. Fight for my sake too, or like, fill in for my absence too, something like that. It's hard to, that boon always gets me. Okay. Super NES, sorry, I cannot be of any help now. I don't really like this. I cannot be of any help now. He's saying like, I'm sorry. Please fight for me when I can't. Something like that. I'll mark that up. J2E, that first part, Katajike nai, a very like honorable samurai thing, warrior thing, is missing in translation for some reason. And then naming way, sorry I can't help you. Alright, I'll mark that off too. So they kind of stumbled a little bit on this line. Okay, we can check Yang again, and it says ... We need to get some more frying pans in here. Okay, the Sylph says, Yan ga shindara do suru no? What do you intend to do if Yang dies? So she's basically making the argument of like why he needs to stay here, saying like, what if he dies? Like, and sort of putting the blame on us if it were to happen. Okay, so Super NES, this becomes Yang needs to rest. Yeah, the point about dying got written around. If I had to localize this to come out in clear words, I'd be like, what's a good way? You don't want Yang to die, do you? Something like that. It's like pointing at the idea of taking him along, and then what if he dies? Super NES or Yang. So J2E, what would you do if Yang died? I feel like this is a literal translation, but I feel it's kind of missing the point, missing the mark slightly. It's tough. I'll mark it off. And the naming way says Yang needs rest, also wrong. Alright. The Sylph Ningente Rambo ne. Humans are so violent, or humans sure are unruly. This te is kind of interesting. It doesn't have a little tsu in there. Yeah, so it's just kind of interesting delivery. I wonder if this got changed in later scripts. Probably doesn't need to though. Super NES, humans, how violent. Okay, that's good. J2E, you humans are so violent. And naming way, humans are so violent. I kind of like Super NES on the best here. Third one, Yan no tsurete kanaide. Don't take Yang away. Please don't take Yang away, something like that. Super NES, don't take Yang away. J2E, don't take Yang away. Naming way, don't take Yang. Final one says Yan no koto nara makasete. Just leave everything, leave Yang all to us. So like if you're worried about Yang, just leave it to us. Something like that. Super NES. Never worry about Yang. We will take care of him. Okay. It kind of like unfolded the full idea into these two lines. That's fine. J2E. Just leave Yang to us. Okay, that's fine. Naming way. Don't worry, Yang's in our care. I would like that delivery to be better, but it's fine. Alright. I think we got all of them right. We got all of the chests in this place. If I didn't, then the ghosts of Final Fantasy IV treasure chests are going to come get me at night. Alright, so I don't think there's anything more to do down in here. Down there, nothing there. I don't think there's anything left to do here. Actually, while I'm here, I'm going to look at some of my screenshots I did for LOL to see what I already took screenshots of what I call, oh crap. Sealed cave, no. A big whale, let's see. Okay, we did that. Okay, we're gonna do the legend next, I guess. You guys want us to do the legend, I guess? It'll be a while. Okay, it looks like I tried to do Odin at this point. What the heck was I thinking? Alright. I'll leave that for handy uses later. Alright. Alright, time to get back to the story. I want to see if it still works. See if my trick still works. Yay, it works. I kind of like the way this little spot over here feels. This feels kind of nice. Don't know why. We gotta go to Mysidia. Wait a minute, what's going on there? Look at that water I was talking about. I need the water crystal. Uh-oh. So as we walk into the village, we are greeted by the elder and his posse. They come straight to the front of the village. I forgot it happens this way. All right. So I don't know if there's going to be a pause here or not. There might be. I can probably just let it go. All right. The elder says, Mate otazo. We've been waiting, or we've been expecting you, something like that. Inori no toe maidare. So come to the Tower of Prayer. He's speaking like an old elder. You might expect an old elder to speak that way. So Super NES, we have been waiting for you. Come to the Tower of Wishes. So take out that for the wishes prayer thing. The J2E. We've been waiting for you. Come to the Tower of Prayer. It's technically not I or we. It's not really clear if it's I or we. It's just been waiting for you. That's just how Japanese works. Pronouns, you have to fill in the blanks. It could have been I or we, but everyone says we. All right, naming way. We've been waiting for you. Come to the Tower of Prayer. Tower of Wishes, yeah, that sounds kind of childish. Alright, now we're going to be, we're going to enjoy another legend, the same legend text as before. Oh, I can just read it out loud. Ryu no kuchi yori umare shimono. Ten takaku mayagari. Yami to hikari o kakage. Nemuri no chi ni saranaru yakusoku o motarasan. Tsuki wa hateshi naki hikari ni tsutsumare. Aha naru daichi ni oi naru megumi to jihi o atayan. Alright, so this is the legend. We've already seen it before, and I won't translate it again. I just decided to read it out while I was going. I want to point out that someone mentioned in the YouTube comments that for the Pixel Remaster, the legend text seems to be pulling from the Super NES text, but with some changes. So here we go. We will look at this in an interesting new way. Alright, so in the Pixel Remaster, one born of a dragon bearing darkness and light. So let's see how this actually fits up with Super NES. You have one to be born from a dragon hoisting the light and the dark. Okay, so actually bearing is pretty good for this, for Kakageru. It doesn't necessarily always mean to hold up high. But okay. One born of a dragon. Technically in Japanese it's from the mouth of a dragon, so this clearly already feels like, where is it? You know Kuchi? Kuchi is the second one here, mouth. So from the mouth of a born from the mouth of a dragon. And we don't see that in this Pixel Remaster, which just makes it clearly like it's pulling from Super NES, like that kind of mistake. So maybe for the Pixel Remaster translation, they took this and edited it a little bit. All right. One born of a dragon bearing darkness and light will rise to the heavens over the still land. All right. We have rises high up in the sky to the still land. We got still land in there. Again, this is the Nemuri no Chi, right? The land of sleep. It's not still, it's sleep. Naming way is pulling from something too. They say still land, but the moon is like where everyone goes into like their weird slumber, right? Their weird like cryogenic slumber or whatever, sleep, as everyone calls it. All right. The moon's light eternal brings a promise to earth with bounty and grace. Looks like this might be Yeah, I don't know if this is technically directly from the Super NES. It feels like it's a Frankenstein monster, the Pixel remaster. It might also just be like a rewrite of a couple versions and kind of patched all together. But it definitely doesn't feel like the 3DS or the DS version straight up. It feels simpler. Um, we did mention last time we saw the legend how Jihi as Mercy can give the wrong impression. Jihi, let me see if I can bring it up. Compassion, benevolence, charity, or mercy. So compassion is probably where I would like to go with that word. Such a long word in English though. And then Jihi. Jihi, because the word mercy has different meanings to it. Can give the wrong impression. Alright, we'll say we don't need to look at that anymore. Let's continue. Alright, now we are at the top of the Tower of Wishes, prayer. The elder says, Inoru no ja, mina no mono. Pray, everyone. Or there's the forcefulness of it is hard for me to convey. It's kind of like, now pray, everyone. Densetsu ga shin no hikari to naru toki wa ima o oite hoka ni nai. That's some Japanese N2 or N1 grammar there, that last one. Blank o oite hoka ni nai. Alright. It's saying, now pray everyone. Now this is the only time when the legend becomes true light. Like if the legend is ever going to become true light, it is now and no other time. This is kind of how it kind of literally unfolds. Super NES. Wish, everyone, the legend shall come alive now. So it's talking about true light. Like real light, Hikari. So the legend's about to become true light. That might make sense for the upcoming scene, by the way. J2E. Pray, everyone. Pray for the coming of the light. I don't really like that. It's saying the legend is going to become true light now. It's kind of a weird phrasing in Japanese to begin with, so I can understand why the translations try to avoid it. Okay. I don't like the J2E because they were always doing that. They were always praying for the coming of the light here. He's specifically saying, like, at this specific moment, something is going to happen. And it has to do with the legend. I want those details in there, especially from J2E. Naming way. Everyone pray. The legend is about to be made reality. I don't really like this reality thing either. I want light to be in there, but I'll say that one's fine. Everyone's praying and bowing and Wayne's worlding. Then a bunch of crystal lights start crystal flashing, and we all have seizures. Whoa! Now a giant whirlpool has opened up in that weird spot southeast or southwest of Mysidia, in that dragon mouth area. There's suddenly a big whirlpool. And we're back to the tower. The elder says, oh. This means oh. Alright. Super NES, that's not in there. I'll mark that off. J2E, oh. Okay. And naming way, it's not in there. Mark that off. The new text box, he says, Mina no mono. Everyone. We'll say, look, everyone is Super NES. J2E says, everyone. And naming says, look, everyone. We'll say that's fine. Next text box, wareda no inori. Our prayer, or our prayers, dot dot dot. That becomes our wish. The Super NES, mark that off, that wish thing. J2E, our prayers. Okay, in naming way, our prayers. You can see singular in Super NES, plural in J2E, and plural in naming way. Which should it be? Only can ask Super Buddha or something, I guess. And then the last line by the elder is Tsujitazo. So our prayer has gotten through. Like, or has been heard, I guess. Not necessarily answered, it just got heard. Okay. Super NES. Our wish was granted. I'll say it's fine, but technically it just means that, like, our prayer was heard, or was communicated, was conveyed. J2E. Our prayers have been answered. In naming way, our prayers, dot dot dot, dot dot dot, have been answered. I'll say that's fine too. Okay, something's coming out of the whirlpool. It's coming out of the dragon's mouth. It's a weird glowy shrimp. Looks like a shrimp or a prawn. Okay, we're back on the tower. The elder says, Are koso masashiku. That itself, or like, how can I phrase that to make that convey in translation? That is truly ... Are koso. That koso, I can't, how can I phrase that koso in there? Okay, Super NES. That is, let me just read this whole thing. Are koso masashiku, oi naru mabuyuki fune. Mabayui. Darn it. Okay. So that, now that is truly a ship of great brightness, or like a great ship of brightness, of light. The Madosen, the magic ship. They changed that, Mabayuki, as I was stumbling on there, trying to figure it out. They changed that in easy type to Kagayaku. So that, now that is truly the great shining ship. Kagayaku is to like shine, glitter, sparkle, just to give off light. The magic ship. Alright. Super NES. That is ... The ship of light from the moon. The big whale. Alright. So we've already talked about this yesterday, but in Japanese it's the Madosen, which is just the magic ship. And for some reason, this becomes the big whale in all of the translations from Super NES, the big whale. I'll mark that off, it's kind of weird. But from the moon, it doesn't make sense. He doesn't say anything about the moon in Japanese, so I'll mark that off. Alright. There's more that I could probably pick apart, but I don't want to. J2E. That must be ... The legendary vessel of light. The magical ship. Alright. We'll say that's fine. This Oi Naru could be better. Big, large, or great. Alright. Naming way. The Ark of the Moon, ... The Lunar Whale. Alright. I don't like the Ark of the Moon. Again, we're talking about the moon when we shouldn't. And the Lunar Whale, the light. I like the word light to be in there somewhere. Okay. So just translating it as magic ship, yeah, it's kind of weak. But there's other words. Like that's something that you would just want to localize, which is how they came up with the big whale. But you can get somewhere. You can get something crafty, I'm sure. To come up with magic ship, there's probably a good word for that. Alright. Boop boop. The magic ship. Suddenly a new song we've never heard before. And the glowing magic ship is starting to not glow as much. Its glow has left, and now the ship seems boardable. Alright. And the elder is saying, Inori no sanaka, atatakai koe ga kikoeta. In the middle of our prayers, I heard a warm voice. Sono koe wa ko iteita. Tsuki ni maireto. So, and that voice said this, come to the moon. Right. Super NES. While wishing... Uh-oh. Super NES just hit negative 1,000. Oh no. I'm getting you guys all mixed up. Which Final Fantasy are we actually playing? Right. While wishing, I heard a voice calling you to come to the moon. Would have liked it to say warm. Atatakai. Mark that off. J2E. J2E has a big text box here. While I was praying, a voice came to me. It whispered, come, Cecil, come to the moon. So much to tell you about you, your father. What? That's not in there. That's not in there, okay. While I was praying, a voice came to me. It whispered, come. Cecil, come to the moon. Alright. I'm going to say that Cecil line. Drop that Cecil in there. So much to tell you. 1, 2, 3. About you, your father. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Naming way. During my prayers. Prayer in there. During my prayers, I heard a voice calling for you to go to the moon. Would have liked that atatakai, that warmth. You want to know that it's a pleasant thing. Alright, next part. Skide. Okay, so this part is the elder still talking, but he's not quoting anymore. He's saying, Skide sonatara o mateiru mono ga iru. On the moon, there's someone waiting for you people. For all of you. This plural, this raw. Okay. So there's someone on the moon waiting for you people. Super NES. Someone awaits you there. Okay. J2E didn't have that because they were too busy doing the other stuff. Mark that off. Naming way. Someone awaits you there. See, this is a thing that falls out of translation. The plural and singular you, we just have one word kind of for them. And we can pluralize it if we feel like it, but we don't have to. This is a problem in translation. Alright. Next line. And then Cecil says, Demo doyate, but how? So it's kind of saying, like, how do you get to the moon? Like, how do we get to the moon? What? Alright. Super NES. Moon, but how? Alright, we'll say that. That's fine. J2E. Cecil says, a voice, ... My father, ... question mark. The light on Mount Ordeals, ... We must go, but how? Alright. A voice, ... 1, 2, 3. My father, 1, 2, 3. The light on Mount Ordeals, 1, 2, 3. Okay, we must go, but how? That seems fine. Wait a minute. We must go. I'll mark off just one on that. It's kind of, it doesn't need to be there. It looks like they added that in there so that this could all flow. Alright, naming way. Cecil says, how would we get there? The delivery on that could be better. And I would have liked the word but in there. Cecil needs a but. But I won't mark off on that. Alright. Now the elder responds, Madousen wa tsuki yori no fune. The magical ship is a ship from the moon. Super NES. The big whale is the ship from the moon. I want to say this should be an A. Or you can just take is from the moon. Is a. You can say the big whale is a ship from the moon. Alright. At this point, after this whole scene ends, then I'll stop marking off the big whale stuff. I'm going to do it again here. Okay. J2E. The magical ship is a vessel to the moon. Nope, it's from the moon. Yordi. Yordi is like Karta, if you know Karta, from. Yordi is kind of like a parallel to that. From, out of, since, at, than, other than, except, but, or more. So that from is from the moon. Okay. And then, naming away. The Lunar Whale is the arc of the moon. And the weird lunar whale thing again. Alright, we'll say the rest is okay. Arc of the moon, I'm going to say is fine. If they want to use arc for Fune, that's fine. And then, okay, the elder continues. Mysidia no Kiroku ni yoreba, according to Mysidian records, Sujo hiko no suichi to wa betsu ni Hisho no kristaru naru mono ga ari. So according to Mysidian records, there is the ordinary flight switch, but separate from that, there's also a flight crystal thing, sort of thing. Katari kakereba tsuki tono yukiki ga dekiru soja. So talking about the flight crystal, there is a thing that is the flight crystal, and if you speak to it, you can apparently travel to and from the moon. So it's he's relying on hearsay from old records here, so there's hearsay going on. Okay. So here it's saying Sujo Hiko, that's like standard flight. And there's a standard flight switch, and then there's a separate flight crystal that will take us to the moon and back. So it's explaining it pretty well here. I remember when I first played this game, it wasn't clear what the crystal was and why there was like another separate switch, which is really hard to find. Alright, Super NES. The big whale is a ship from the moon. It works as an airship, but when going to the moon, you need to talk to the crystal of flight to voyage between the moon and the earth. Okay. It's a little bit different, but this whole thing is basically just mechanics, game mechanics, saying there's two things. Alright, we'll say that's fine, but I really would like this to say that old records say this. There's like some lore. Marked off a point for that missingness. J2E. According to Mysidian archives, aside from a switch to control normal flight, there's a crystal of flight. If you speak to it, you should be able to go to the moon. Alright. So you should be able to go to the moon. This Yukiki is like to go, like coming and going. So it's not just go to the moon. Like you can go to the moon and back. So you're not going to be locked in once you go to the moon. He's saying that you can go and back, come back. That's pretty important. I'll just mark that off. It's minor for the average player, but for a translation it's important. Okay. But I'm pretty impressed with how that J2E turned out. Naming way. It's a giant airship, but you can activate its crystal to travel between Earth and the moon. So Earth is literally called Earth now, this planet. It doesn't talk about the archives or the records. It doesn't talk about the flight crystal. It doesn't talk about ordinary airship. Or, I mean, ordinary flight. Right. And Cecil says, Yatte mimasu. We'll give it a try. We'll try it out. We'll We'll try and see what happens. That line is missing in Super NES, mark that off. This layout, I need to fix this layout so that that number is so big it's hitting to the J2E's name there. Okay, J2E. I'll give it a try. Okay, good. And naming way is missing that line. Okay, Cecil walks out of the room. He's straight out of the... Okay, we're now outside on the world, overworld, outside of Mysidia. To our right is our airship, and to our left is the Lunar Whale. The magical ship,魔導船. I wonder if does the idea of a whale come into this in any part in the Japanese script at any location, I wonder. Or was the whale thing just added in? Alright. It's kind of neat to have this music playing as I do this, so... okay. So I did the sight spell, and then when the sight spell ended, music reset. Boo. Sakaguchi, why? Right, we're getting inside of the Lunar Whale. It's a pretty weird layout. It's hard to even see anything. Here's the flight zone. Like, you have to know that you have to sit here and choose this to fly around. If we choose this, we'll go to the moon right now. Down here is a sleeping pods. We can go sleep in here. And we have a big chocobo. He just lives on our ship. Is this where he lives normally and then he like teleports, or he has a hologram or something for the rest of the world? Okay, what can we leave that I don't need? I don't need that. Don't need that. Where was the other one? There it is. Probably don't need that. Elfin bow. Don't know. Don't really need that. I don't know about fairy, or I mean like angel arrows. I don't really know if those are any good. We'll say that that's all good. I don't think there's anything I want out of here. What do I have on Cecil anyway? Oh, the Avenger? Crap. Alright, I took the Avenger off for the moment. Alright, we have to go back and see Yang's wife now. Am I worried about something? Just being able to control him. I'll probably put the Avenger back on at some point. I understand that it's like really OP, but I like to have control of him at the moment. I'm not as familiar with mechanics. Right, we're gonna go see Yang's wife. We still have her fry pan. I guess it's not a one-use fry pan, I guess. Did I pick up the sword from the blacksmith? Oh, I can go do that, yeah, I'll go do that. Or I thought that was the tower, or I thought that was the Giant of Babel. Angel arrows are 4 against giants. Alright. Well, we'll be down in the underground, so I'll take a look. Oops. Alright, we're talking to Yang's wife. We're going to give her a fry pan. And then she says, Ara, waza waza, sumanai ne. That means like, oh my, thank you for going so out of your way. こんなもんしかないけど、なんかの役に立つだろう. I only have this paltry thing, but it should be helpful in some way. But maybe it'll be useful in some way, something like that. Alright. Super NES. I am sorry, capital S, for taking all your time. Take this with you. I'll say it's fine. It could be a lot better. J2E. Sorry, I'm stuck here doing lousy housework all the time. This is all I've got to thank you with, but it should come in handy somehow. Alright, looks like this J2E first line is a complete mistranslation. Like from like an amateur translator. I'm stuck here doing the lousy housework all the time. Waza waza is kind of like when you're going out of your way to do something. Which probably is where that comes from. So J2E, mistranslation, we lose a point. Naming way. Thank you for everything. Here, this might come in handy. Okay, good. Okay. What did we get? Poucho o teini ireta. So we got the kitchen knife. Poucho is like a kitchen knife, a carving knife. They're not gonna give you that. For some reason, I don't know why they give you this. The Super NES, but this became spoon. You get the spoon. In a funny way, it does feel more like this is a paltry thing. This is just a dumb little thing. You probably can't make much use of it, but maybe you can. A spoon fits that bill pretty well. But it's a mistranslation. I'll mark that off. J2E received the meat cleaver. I don't think a meat cleaver is a hocho. That would be a different thing. Used to say, got the kitchen knife. Used to be better. I'll mark it off. Naming way, received kitchen icon. Right. So we can get Excalibur now? Okay. Alright. She continues by saying, Atashi nara shinpai iranai yo. If you're worried about me, there's no need to be. Hayaku naoshite tatakai natte ano hito ni ite o yari. So tell my husband, Anohito again, that person, literally, but means my husband in this case. Tell my husband to hurry up and get better and fight. Like, hurry up, get better and fight. Tell my husband that. Alright. Super NES. Don't worry about me. Tell Yang, so Anohito just becomes Yang now. Tell Yang to get well soon and fight with you. Well, I mean, this part about fight with us, not necessarily is in there, but I'll say it's all fine. J2E. Don't worry about me. Tell Yang to get well soon and fight for the future of this world. And that I love him. Alright, fight for the future of this world. I'll mark off 2 on that. Making that up. And that I love him. I mean, it's a nice sentiment, but it's not in the original text. You're making up relationship stuff here. You shouldn't do that yet. Alright, naming way. Don't worry about me. Tell Yang to get better so he can help you. Tatakai na. I want fight to be in there. The word fight, I want to be in there. She's very fighty herself. -1 point because Yang's wife does not love him. So earlier, a couple days ago, I wanted to learn how I could do item duplication on this, the spoon or the kitchen knife or whatever. So I looked it up in Japanese, and there's like one article on some blog, and the guy is just calling everyone who wants to do that an idiot. If you want to do that, you're an idiot. In that sort of like famous internet expert writing style, like, you're so stupid if you think this. And they lay out their reasoning for it, but they're just so mean and jerkish about it. So I want this to be a lesson that in Japanese entertainment, fans are jerks too. Like, not all fans, but there are jerk fans in Japanese entertainment too. Alright. It'd be cool to just have this 99 of these in some way. But I got like 255 of these light swords. That's pretty good. Alright, so Hocho is became spoon, cleaver, and J2E says this meat cleaver is a sharp kitchen utensil. I don't know if it's a cleaver, to be honest. If you look up that word, you'll probably just get like a normal kitchen knife. Alright, so she goes back to saying, don't worry about me, tell my husband to do that stuff. If I go back now, will he have anything new? Is it worth it? Uh-oh, am I getting another spam? Boy, the spams calls are so strong these days. Someone's legal system is being exploited. Now we're gonna go down to that blacksmith. I'm gonna do the blacksmith. I kind of always like this little section of the continent. Looks like an upside down bird or something, but we never really need to go here. Is there anything here? Oh, it's just these guys. From the beginning of the game. For duplicating the spoon, you know, it just means like you have the really strongest throw. You have like unlimited of it, so I can see why people would want that. Right, we're back at this place, the blacksmith. Is there anything new going on in here? That's the same. Okay, yeah, looks like we got it. So we're talking to the blacksmith, Kukuru, I guess his name was in Japanese, but all right. He was working on a sword for us because we got him the ore yesterday. He says now, Dekitoruzo, it's finished. Kind of like in an unusual way in Japanese. Sono namo Seiken Excalibur ja. Its name is the Holy Sword Excalibur. Here's the Seiken, if you know Seiken Densetsu. Seiken is in here. Holy Sword, Sacred Sword. You can see it down at the bottom, second from the top, or bottom I mean. Holy Sword. That's how you write it in kanji. It's like sacred and then sword. So it's the Sacred Sword Excalibur. Kokoro State Sky. Use it with care. Kokoro State, does that show up in there? With caution. Alright. Super NES. It's done. Here is the Sacred Sword Excalibur. So here's the word. The word sacred seems to be safe from Nintendo of America's old limitations. Regulations. The word sacred itself seems safe, is what I've noticed. So instead of changing things from like holy to pearl or holy to white, they could have just changed it to sacred, maybe. Alright, Excalibur. J2E. It's done! The Holy Sword Excalibur. Okay, wait a minute, the second line, use it with care, is not in the Super NES, I'll mark off. J2E. It's done! The Holy Sword Excalibur. Use it with all your mind, body, and soul. What? Why? That was in there all along. Well, I don't know why it's saying mind, body, and soul, so I'm going to mark off a point there. Please don't let that be some kind of reference. So yeah, I thought of this too. Expert was bringing this up. In Super NES, the word Excalibur here is fully written out. There's no like truncation happening. There's EXCALIBUR. But when we get the item, they reduce it to EXCALBUR, which makes sense because the item name can only be like, what was it, 8 or 9 letters. But if that's the case, why was Leviathan always Leviathan when it could be Leviathan in the normal script like this? So there's some sort of inconsistency with their weird abbreviation system, which makes sense. It was probably a long, weird, complicated project to work on. It's something we're thinking about. All right. Naming way. It's done. The sacred sword, Excalibur. May it serve you well. I want that to say, like, use it with care. And then we're gonna get the item. Excalibur teni ireta. Obtained the Excalibur. This becomes received Excalibur in Super NES. You received Excalibur in J2E. I mean, received Excalibur in Super NES. And received Excalibur namely. Saying Excalibur so many times just now brought back some, not trauma, but like old memories of when I worked on the Soul Eater anime series like 10, 15 years ago. There's a character in there named Excalibur, and all he kind of just says is Excalibur, and he does a little dance. He's really powerful, but it's hard to ever get him to focus. Excalibur. Alright, we got it. We got the good sword. Excalibur. J2E says, forged from legend, has sacred power. Does it have sacred power? I assume so. Excelsior. Okay. Wait a minute. It's probably just good to have on him, right? That's pretty strong. I like it. So maybe I can duplicate some Excaliburs if they're good. If they're better than the light sword, I guess maybe. Okay, what does he say now? The blacksmith now says, "Okage de yaruki ga torimodoseta wa." So thanks to you, I've regained my motivation. Yaruki is in there. Willingness, eagerness, motivation, determination, high aspirations. Super NES. I've got my confidence back. Honestly, I don't think it's confidence. I think it was just motivation to make something. So I'll mark off. I think he did that mistake last time, the other day too. I forget if I marked that off. J2E. Thanks to you, I've finally gotten my will back. I've finally gotten back my will to work. Naming way. Thank you for all your help. Okay, no, that last line is missing, or the last part. Yeah, can we throw the Excalibur? It's one of a kind. It has the throwable trait. Oh. We'll get some. We're gonna find out today on Tomato Test Z. Tomato Experiment Z. Something like that. Yeah, I messed up that dupe. Let me try that duplication better. Okay, let's try it again. I gotta figure out how to do this right. Oh no, I keep messing it up. How do I do this? How did I just do that yesterday and I already forget how? We got pollen. We need some allergy pills. I need to look at how I did this yesterday. Oops. Maybe go into that menu messes things up, I don't know. Oh, I got it. Alright, we have 255 Excaliburs. Alright, Edge, now you're up. Terumakuda. And just walk right on this weird little stuff. Come on, Edge. Oh, we can indeed throw Excaliburs, but although it says 55, I guess it's a different routine probably. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I have a lot of good throwy things. Just setting up my stuff so I can throw stuff well. What else do I got down here? I got this junk. Right. So we've got the Yang stuff. We've got well, we don't see the other guy here until after like the moon stuff, right? Like the guy who sells this stuff. Yeah, so there's one more guy here that we'll see later. Alright, so today we're going to the moon. I don't want to do Odin yet. Actually, again, let me look at my stuff. Alright, we did the blacksmith. We've done the moon legend stuff. Looks like if I was doing articles for the site, I already have it prepped to do the Odin stuff here. I guess I could try to do Odin. I mean, I guess we could let's just try it and see what happens. I'm gonna go try to do the moon right now. Or not the moon, I'm gonna try to do Odin. I did indeed get the cheat code that will let us see that one line of text. The thing is, I looked at that line of text and nothing seemed out of the ordinary. So apparently when you fight Odin, and if you do things under specific conditions, you can get a rare line of text to happen in battle. But it's really hard to get normally, and it seems because maybe it's bugged, I'm not sure. I expect to die. I don't think I'm going to win this time, but I kind of just want to try it. Like, so I can totally beat this guy if I do that trick. If I put that guy's number on, yeah. So I can beat this with a cheat and get the extra line of text, or I can struggle and miss the extra line. It's hard to say which I should do. Well, at the very least, we're going to get this text. The King of Barons says, Yoku kite kureta na. You've done well in coming here for me. Okay, Super NES. Welcome back. Okay. J2E. You came. ... Naming way. So you've returned. I don't like the delivery on that. Oh, naming way just hit negative 1,000. It's kind of like there's a gratefulness to this that is missing in naming way. It's kind of missing in J2E, but it's definitely missing in naming way. And I'm gonna get my butt kicked. All right, let me just do this right now. While I'm here. Did I save it when we landed? Maybe I can just keep coming back from that save. Alright, we're talking now to King of Baron's ghost in the underground throne. Cecil says, Heika, ... Your Majesty. That's how that goes. And that's Your Majesty in all versions, although Super NES goes with an exclamation. The king then says, Sonna ni kanashime yo suru na. Don't have such a sad look on your face. Don't have such a sad look. Or don't look so sad, something like that. That becomes, don't be sad in Super NES, J2E. The look in you eyes, I'm a typo there, is one of sadness, Cecil. No, he's saying don't have sadness. And plus there's a typo there. Okay, naming way. I do not need your pity. I don't like that. Okay. Then he says, Mamono ni yararewashita ga, watashi wa eien no chikara o te ni ireta. I was done in by the monsters, but I have attained eternal power, eternal strength. So I was killed by monsters, but I attained eternal power. Super NES. The monster got to me, but I have gained the eternal powers to help you. To help you isn't technically in there. The monster got to me is kind of weird too, so I'll just mark off those two as one. J2E. Yes, it is truly me. I was murdered, but I became the soul of a phantom beast. What? Alright, yes, it is truly me. I mean, we already know that it was him. 1, 2, 3. I was murdered. I was killed. I was done in by monsters. I was done in by a monster. I guess we'll say murdered, but the monster's missing in there. But I became the soul of a phantom beast. That's not right at all. 1, 2, 3. We're trying to do some lore changes on us here. Naming way. Although slain by Cagnazzo, I now live on as an Eidolon to aid you. So this name should not be in there. I now live on as an Eidolon to aid you. He says I've just attained eternal power. Like, it doesn't need to be the details like this, which are weird. Alright. So the weirdness in J2E was always there. Next line. The king continues. Let me bring this. Okay. そのミストの召喚師が呼び出せば、私はいつでもお前の力になる。Blah. Need some more water already. Oh crap, I just realized the fight's gonna be hard. Okay, so the mist caller there, that mist caller, if she calls me, I will be your ally at any time. I will help you at any time. Technically, omae, no, so singular, I will be your help at any time, should that mist caller summon me. Alright. Super NES, the caller of mist can summon me whenever you please. Alright, we'll say that's fine. J2E, the summoner from mist may call my name. Okay, the part, I will help you. I'll take a Super NES too. Naming way. The summoner can call upon me whenever you may need. So mist is missing. The summoner can call upon me whenever you may need. Okay, we'll say that's fine. The whenever is in there. Yeah, that whenever you please is kind of important. In which case I'll return that Super NES point. Alright. Ichigeki Hisatsu no Genju Toshite na. I will be your help as a summoned monster that has the one-hit kill. So you're saying like that is my identity. When you call me, that is what my identity will be. I'll be a summoned monster that does a one-hit kill. That is missing in Super NES. That whole line. That whole line is missing in J2E. We can kind of argue that became a phantom beast. The soul of a phantom beast is what that is, but I don't think that's strong. And then naming way, that line is missing. So everyone's just kind of getting some of this wrong. The king continues, Daga, Genju kai no okite ni ori, omae no chikara o tamaseneba naranu. However, as per summoned world law, or as per the rule of the summoned monsters world, I must test your might. Nukardo de Naizo, do not hold back, or do not yeah, I guess Nukardo might be hold back, or like make a mistake. Do not make any mistakes, like make no blunders. Alright, Super NES, but first, ... I must test you. That last part about do not stay sharp, kind of, which is an accidental pun. I'm sorry about the accidental pun there. Stay sharp. It's how this feels. Nukardo de Naizo. That's missing in the Super NES. J2E. But you must be tested. ... That last part is missing. Naming way. But the code states I must test you. Okay, last part is missing. The part about the code is missing in Super NES and J2E. That's pretty important. This whole law of summon monsters that they must test you first. We kind of missed that here, and so we didn't get that reaffirmed every time we fought one. Here we go. We're about to have a hard fight. Crap. Oh, we killed him. Dang. What the heck? Alright, we did it. I accidentally stepped on an ant is what that felt like. Alright. Well, I will say, so something weird happens in that battle. If on his third time he raises his sword up, and then you do lightning on it, then he has a special text that appears and says that the lightning like flowed through his sword and hit him, and then he dies. The thing is, getting that far, getting to his third sword raise, means you've been fighting a long time and you're struggling, so you probably never get to see that text. I didn't get to see his stats either. It was too fast. I'm just too good. Sign me up for speedrun.com. Okay. King Baron now says, Takumashiku natta na. How strong you've grown. Takumashi can mean a couple things. How strong, sturdy you've grown, something like that. Super NES, you have grown. Would like strength to be in there, but that's okay. J2E, you have become strong. In naming way, you have grown. Hearing this phrase feels like a nice reassuring feeling. I don't get that straight. I don't get that same feeling from the Super NES or naming way, so I'll mark off a point there. Having someone say Takumashiku natta no gives off a different feeling from just you have grown. You could just say Seichou shita na for that. Alright. Then we have Bardon o ya sekai o tanomu zo. I leave Baron, no, the world in your hands. That's how that goes. Watashi mo Odin toshite omae to tatakao. I will fight along. As for me, I too will fight alongside you as Odin. So the North American version gave Odin slightly more HP than in the original Japanese. That's funny. All right. So I leave Baron, know the world in your hands. I will fight alongside you as Odin. Okay. Super NES. This world is dependent on you, and I shall fight with you as Odin. All right. The world is dependent on you. Is that spelled right? Should that be an E? But anyway, originally he was going to say, I leave Baron in your hands. No, the world in your hands. So we could say this is here where he becomes the full-fledged heir, possibly, of Baron, because he just says, I leave Baron to you. Like, I leave you to take care of Baron or something like that. So this could be like if there's ever a fight for the throne legitimacy, you could say, no, the King of Baron told me this. And then you could bring this up in a court of law. This is missing in Super NES, that little detail. So I'm going to take that out. J2E. You have become strong. Fight for Baron. No, fight for the world. I will fight alongside you as Odin. This fight doesn't feel right. I'll mark off a point. Naming way. This world depends on you, and I shall fight alongside you as Odin. Okay, so again, the part about like where he's specifically saying, I leave you to take care of Baron. No, the world. All right, next part. And then Cecil says, Heika, Your Majesty. Alright. Now becomes the Super NES, Your Majesty. J2E, Your Majesty, and naming way, Thank you, Your Majesty. So they added thank you in there. That's kind of the idea. So dependent with an A is more common in British English to refer to a person who depends on another. Alright, so we got some narration text. Rydia ga Odin o oboeta. So Rydia learned Odin. In Super NES, Rydia learned Odin. J2E, Rydia learned Odin. Naming way, Rydia learned Odin. Oh, by the way, all translations are now in the -1,000 club. That deserves a party of some sort. Well, what's a good one? and the king vanishes. He has vanished. Alright. We have Odin down here. It's Odin everywhere. Sylph. Alright. So we did that. I did not expect that to happen. Okay. I'm still not sure what to do next. Yeah, do these guys have anything new? That's the same. Alright. Probably can't escape from this place. Darn it. So it took some Excaliburs to take Odin down. He wasn't expecting multiple Excaliburs. He doesn't know about the secret magic. The Hack Elemental. Alright, so we're just now going to farm for the Imp spell for the next 20 years. I'm joking, I'm not going to do that. Alright, so by my calculations, we have finished what I call the Big Whale chapter. Like if I write this on my Legends of Localization site, the Big Whale page was going to have the blacksmith, then the Dwarf King stuff, then the Adamant Isle, then blacksmith again, then Mysidia, then the legend, then Odin, and now we go to the moon. So we're going to go to the moon next, it looks like. Let me just make sure I'm not missing anything. Yeah, okay. Okay, Sylph Cave, I guess I did next. So I've done all that. Yep, traveling to the moon. But this is traveling to the moon page. Looks like it was not going to have FuSoYa yet, just the first time to the moon. As I recall, some of the enemies on the moon surface have very different battle scripts. And I remember being fascinated by that back in the day. Alright. So here's what I have. Traveling to the moon, meeting FuSoYa is another page. Another page is Bahamut Cave. Another page is Giant of Babel. Another page is Loose Ends. Another page is Lunar Core. Another page is Ending. And then way later page would be Miscellaneous, which has stuff. And then after that is Photos and Scans. Do I have any cool photos and scans in here? Kind of the stuff I've been showing off every day. Oh yeah, the Ogopogo thing. I'll look at that. The Ogopogo Examiner. We'll look at that in a future stream. Alright, so it looks like we're going to go to the moon. Okay, where did I leave it? Do you guys ever have like a little spot where you kind of park all your vehicles? You have a little garage anywhere? Sometimes I would do that. Alright, I'm just gonna have Edge cook these enemies because we're hungry. Alright. I'm going to take a quick bathroom break here, and then we're going to the moon, everyone. Get ready to go to the moon. Which moon is it? It's the evil one, right? I kind of wanted to play After Years to see what the normal moon is. That's an interesting idea. Okay. Okay, be back in a minute. Okay, hopefully I'm back. We're going to the lunar place. We're going to lunar by working designs. Okay, yeah. So here is the flight controls. This lets you fly like a normal airship. And you can do this. And you can land. When you land, you go back in. So we can check this to go to the moon. While we're here, do we have any last stuff to drop off? Defender and Avenger. I mean that... Where's Avenger? Where'd you go? We're gonna go now. That's a goal. Get your mode 7 eyes on. We're going where no one has ever been. Splat. Like, when we start the game out, I never expected to end up going to the moon. Like, just having an underworld is pretty crazy. Coming from FF1, knowing that you're going to go to the moon is even crazier. Alright, so it's a very small map. So here we'll use this as like center. And see how very small it is. It just repeats very quickly. And then it repeats very quickly here too. Okay, so in here, this is where Bahamut lives. It's the Bahamut's cave, and that's where we can get like one of the best summons. Okay, here is like the Lunar Palace or whatever. This is where we need to technically go next, but we have to take a really long, annoying way to get there. Over here is a little spot on the moon. We'll go here. Okay, so the important thing is I should not check this crystal again. I guess I can until we get FuSoYa. Yeah, the moon theme is pretty good. Alright, we're in this cave full of Hummingway guys. Oh, it's gonna be hard to find. Alright. So I'm talking to one of these naming ways, and it goes hoon, hoo hoon. So it's like humming. In the Super NES, that's hum hum, and J2E, hum 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 hum. Maybe they were trying to copy that sound that plays. Is that what the deal is there? I'm not sure. And then naming way, hum hum. Okay, this one is a shop. He has high potions. Yay! We need a couple. I'll get a couple moon potions. I'll get 6 moon potions. Okay. Oh, ether dry. I can pay for this crap. Elixirs, holy crap. I can buy a lot of elixirs right now. But I can't buy 99 of them. I don't think. Yeah. Even with my tricks, it's too much. Cottages. Oh, you can buy the bestiaries here. And then here we can get the, let's get some of those. You got the, whistle. This whistle thing is the Gisal no Fue. So Gisal flute, Gisal whistle, something like that. Easy type, this becomes Chocobo no Fue. That becomes the Chocobo whistle. So what this item does, it summons the fat Chocobo. You don't have to go seek him out anymore. You can just call him anytime, in the middle of a dungeon even, I think, right? Which is really helpful. But these are really expensive items too, so I only bought 10. Even 10 would be a lot for a normal play. Okay, so Super NES, this just becomes Whistle. It's not clear that it's like themed after those vegetables. Right, J2E. It's called Flute, then becomes Gasal's Flute. Summon Fat Chocobo anytime. Used to be called Whistle. I'm getting flashbacks to Zelda 1's flute whistle thing. Yeah, Fue is like flute, pipe, or whistle. And then it becomes a whistle in naming way. So we're seeing the same stuff as Zelda 1's, like inconsistencies. You think it's reusable? No, they're one-time uses. Gotta be careful with them. Alright. Alright, I'm gonna buy 20 elixirs. And 60 ether dries. I'm living the extravagant life. I'm the 1%ers. I exploited the system, and now I'm rich. Alright. I can probably take this ether out now that I'm here. Let me just sell those. And then, I gotta remember I have this unicorn horn. It will like heal everyone's statuses all at once. I don't want this Kotetsu, it keeps bugging me in there. I probably don't want the charm rod. Medusa arrows, I don't really care, but we'll leave it. Anything else while I'm here? Those bestiary items are probably pretty good because they'll do the peep spell even if it wouldn't work normally. That's pretty good to know. While I'm here, let's just sell all those light swords I got. Restore my money a bit. Got all my money back. Don't tell the trade commission that I'm using crypto. I don't even really need that shield. Oh, interesting. I only have this open. Okay, you guys have to watch me do all this nonsense. I only kind of do this with this game and Earthbound. I care about my order of my items. I'll just use the sword usually in FF6. Yeah, I don't know why I can't buy X potions. Like, why have them? So is there only one shop guy among all the crazy Hummers? I mean, these other ones will be shops too, but okay. So there is, in this weird room full of Hummingway creatures, I guess Hummingways, or naming ways come from here. These are Hummingways. There's like 3 main ones with pillars. Alright. This white Hummingway naming way says, "Soyeba mukashi fune o hatsume shite aoki hoshi e orite ita nakama ga ita kedo." Come to think of it, long ago, there was one of us who invented a ship and went down to the blue star, the blue planet. ... And then Then the next line is Adana o tsukeru no ga umakatta na. He was real good, or they were real good at coming up with nicknames. So it's referring to the naming way character. Okay. Super NES, all that becomes, I had a friend who was very good at making up nicknames, but he went to the blue planet long ago. Alright, so first, Nakama, so I think this is probably coming from someone who's translating without context. Some stuff is getting mixed up, like knowing that there's a crap ton in this room would change how this translation goes. So one of us, Nakama, one of our group, there was one of our group who long ago invented a ship. So okay, invented a ship is missing. Also, I had a friend who was very good. Okay. So they invented a ship and then went down to the blue planet. Okay. So I think all the rest is good. Long ago. Okay. J2E. Come to think of it, there was one of our friends who built a ship and went to the blue planet. He was really good at making up nicknames. Okay, that's fine. I would say invented rather than build. The fact that they invented a ship to do this is pretty cool. Invention, Hatsume. So I'll mark off on J2E there. Naming way. One man was great at nicknaming, but he went to the blue planet long ago. So the whole point of him, like, inventing the ship is missing. And it was one of them, not just one man. Like, this could be, at this point, it could be just, I don't know, Cecil. Cecil's a man. Okay, I'll say that's all fine at that point. I've noticed also that Super NES calls the naming way a he, and J2E goes with he, and naming way goes with man. To my knowledge, from the Japanese text, there is no specific gender assigned to this at all. I mean, these are moon creatures, so we don't really know that kind of stuff. So just for reference sake, there's no like gender specific stuff going on in there. I'll say that's all okay just because we're weird about that in English. Okay, we're going to the middle one. This kind of like looks like Wario colors. This one is Wario, the other one is Toad, and the other one is Toad. Okay, we're talking to Wario. Watashira wa Hummingway Ichizoku. We are the Hummingway clan, or the Hummingway family, or the Hummingway people, something like Ichizoku suggests like a tribe or a clan or something. Family, relatives, dependents, household. Ichizoku can be more like clan though. But it's just like a family, I guess you could say. Super NES. We are the Hummingway family. Notice that it's one M. Is that copying naming like N-A-M-I-N-Y? Hummingway. I'll say that's fine though, Hummingway family. J2E. We are the Hummingway family with lowercase f. Used to say we are the Hummingways. That would have worked okay too. Naming way. We're the Hummingways. Here's the delivery is copying Super NES. You can see it's not necessarily emphatic in the original though, but it's okay. Now we're going to do the second Toad over here. Namae no henko nan no koto de gozaimashou. Name change. Whatever or might you be referring to? That's how that goes. Kind of an interesting phrasing there. Nan no koto de gozaimashou. Super NES. Changing name? What is it? This is very Draft 1 clunky town. I'm going to mark that off. J2E, change your name? What do you mean? In naming way, the interestingly, ironically, or thematically, I don't know, trims everything as far down as it can, and then says name changing, huh? joke is in there. Although the tone is weird. J2E could also have better tone delivery in there. I'll say it's fine. So someone's in the chat saying that Hummingway might be a reference to Ernest Hemingway. Is that confirmed in any interviews or anything? That's the first I've heard of that. Alright. What do you say we do Bahamut right now? Oh yeah, while we're here, I'm gotta take you guys to this little guy. So in the 3D version, Namingway finds out he can't change your name for some reason. So he goes on a journey of soul searching, or whatever you want to call it. Okay, that sounds familiar, I barely remember that. You can see, wait a minute, are these like weird purple, are these weird moose monsters, these weird gelatinous monsters, or were they from the moon all along? So they're new? Okay, I'll look at them. Okay, so on the surface of the moon, Cecil stands. He's standing next to a weird, funny face-looking rock. And I assume this is in reference to that thing on Mars. Back in the 90s, there was like an image from one of the satellites or rovers or something. Showed like a rock on Mars, and it looked like it was a face, like maybe like made by a race of some people or something. It was just like the shadow hitting the mountain in a really weird way, but it looked like a face, and that kind of sent things crazy. And so sometimes these little face mountain things are hidden in some Square games back in the day. It's here, and I think there's one or two maybe in Secret of Mana, maybe another in another game. When I was in 8th grade, like some guy came from the local university talking about Mars, and when he was about to leave, I asked the final question. I asked a question. When they asked any final questions, I asked, "Is there really a face on Mars?" And then I got all the kids suddenly got real excited talking about that face on Mars. So it was just a phenomenon back at the time. As I recall, there might be movies about the face on Mars too. I remember seeing it first in Unsolved Mysteries in 1992. So it's right around the time, yeah. Alright. I think in the GBA version, this like takes you to a place if you walk into it. Alright, so let's look at some of these moon enemies. Oh, there's a smiley face on this moon. Oh, you're right, there is. We'll look at that in a second. I forgot about the smiley face. Alright, here are these monsters. I'm pretty sure these monsters have very different attack routines in the Japanese version versus the FF2. I don't remember what it is. I recorded videos of it like 15 years ago so that someday I could talk about it, but then I never did. Instead, I'm talking about it now. Alright, so we're fighting two like protoplasmic organisms. One is called eukaryote, and then easy type that stayed the same. So this seems to be eukaryote. It seems to be like a biological term. I forget what it is, but it's like it kind of reminds me of these gelatinous things, whatever they are. So in Super NES, that became Jukleote. Sometimes this U can have a J in it when you're doing like other languages, so that's where the J comes from. It's not too crazy. Jukleote, eukaryote, and J2E, which this one seems the correctest one to me. And naming way eukaryote without the E at the end. Yeah, it's a type of organism, single-celled, ancient. Eukaryotes have organelles, prokaryotes don't. Organisms whose cells have a membrane-bound nucleus, according to Wikipedia. All right. Okay. They gave you some really good items in the original. In the original Japanese, they give you Hoshi no Tsuna, I mean like stardust something. Ski no Katen, so lunar curtain, lunar curtain, lunar curtain. Yeah, that becomes Cure 2, Cure 2, Cure 2, Cure 2. Yeah, those are some good items. Alright, let's look at the other one. This is the Prokaryote. This is the other weird single-celled creature. Still the same. But it looks like in easy type, these will drop, instead of the lunar curtains, they'll drop the random summon item. I forget what that's called in English. Yeah, so easy type has a difference here that the Super NES doesn't have, because they only drop Cure 2s. Right, so Prokaryote and Super Famicom. Procyote in Super NES, Prokaryote in J2E, and Procreate in naming way. A bunch of mess is all of this stuff. So USA and Japan versions of these enemies just fight, but the easy type versions cast bio and fights, then repeats the script. So prokaryote means before kernel in Greek, and eukaryote means true kernel. Yeah, so for some reason, the easy type version makes these enemies harder. They're just gonna keep bioing you and fighting, bio and fight, bio and fight. All right. I'm gonna try to steal something from one of these. Oh, Cecil killed it first. Didn't work. So if these guys only do fight, that's pretty good. Uh-oh, Rydia got poisoned though. That's a heavy hit. Dang. Yeah, I'm trying to get Edge to steal one of these things. But it didn't work. One Edge. Ah, he was not fast enough. We're on the moon. I guess there's oxygen on the moon. Or I guess they don't necessarily need oxygen. We don't really know how Cecil lives. Maybe he has gills. I could have just cottaged. Let's do a cottage. So yeah, I guess at pretty high level, it'd be hard for Edge to steal from that. Alright. We got some of these weird moon pudding looking things. Buraku pudding. So black pudding. Pudding is like just pudding, you know. Usually they're depicted as like flan in Japanese entertainment or Japanese in general. Pudding is like flan looking usually, but just any kind of pudding. Alright. That becomes just pudding in Super NES, pudding in J2E. Why didn't they have black in there? It used to say blue pudding, but it's a good thing that they changed that because that could mean blue pudding. You gotta put the K in there somewhere. Although, I would have liked the black in there. Okay, black flan, it became a naming way, because I guess pudding wouldn't fit so good. Oops. I only bioed one. Oh, this is the place where those weird bombs are. You can make those bombs explode. Let's look at the bombs exploding. People in the chat talking about some stuff I don't know, either from the GBA version or from after years. Alright. I can sleep in Lunar Whale? Yeah, I can do that. I'm putting cottages on the moon. Alright, let's see if we can find those grenades or whatever they are, the bombs. Something weird happens with them. I wanna see what happens. Okay, here we go. Okay. There's two of those pink or purple remedy bombs, as we already saw. I was thinking about the name remedy bomb, and because in Japanese it feels like it's remedy and bomb together. But it was making me think, what if it's like remedial or something like that, where like they're not quite up to snuff, you know? Like they needed some work, and maybe that's why they explode automatically after a while or something. That's the best I could think of for what remedy bomu might mean. Alright. But we're joined by a new type of bomb called, in Japanese, Daku Guranedo. So dark grenade. Guranedo. It's the English word dark and the English word grenade. What will it become in easy type? Just grenade, and they spell it differently. Gurenedo. So it's not Guranedo, it's Gurenedo. A re in there instead of a ra. Okay. That becomes in Super NES just grenade. J2E DK dot grenade. So Donkey Kong grenade. And naming way is grenade. Whether or not you care to have the dark in there, I guess it's personal, like personal preference. Right. The thing is, if you do a spell, if you do like a lightning spell on the dark grenades, they will automatically start exploding on stuff. So let's try that out. Ah, crap. Okay, we're doing a thunder spell on a dark grenade. What's going to happen? It does Vensa Bakuhatsu, so chain explosion. This becomes in Super NES reaction, because I guess it's like a chain reaction explosion. J2E really is fighting for space. It goes with Shun explode. I guess chain explode. It could mean a couple other things though, if you try to expand that out. And then naming way is reaction. Here's what happens. Explodes, explodes the other one, explodes that one. It kills them all. Hooray. That's the easy way to kill the dark grenades. I didn't learn about that until like much later. Maybe at least 10 years after I played the game. These little things in this game, when a game is really rich, you have that kind of feeling. Every time you go back to it, there's always something new to find. That's when you know something is rich. Cecil leveled up. Ah. Okay. You can sit on these things that don't look like you can sit on them. The whole party just sits here and sleeps, I guess. $6.25. Alright, there's a smiley face on this somewhere. We gotta find that smiley face. I'm probably seeing it, but just keep missing it. Where's this smiley face, you guys? North of the circle. Oh, there it is. Yay, smiley face. It's like those pancakes you can get at some places. But on the moon. They were just goofing around by the time I started making the moon. You see the smiley face? There's an eye. You got Cecil in your eye. You got Cecil in your teeth. It's like an RPG Maker kid. Just making up junk. Alright, so what we gotta do actually is like land over here. Right? We have to land at the highlands. Let me double check so I don't have to go extra long. Right? Can I do it right here? Yeah, let's do it right here. Well, yeah, we already looked at the Mars face just a little while ago. Shared a story about the Mars face. The first time I think I heard about it was Unsolved Mysteries, though. Even though I was like kind of really into astronomy, somehow wound up there. Alright, we have to go in this cave now. This cave can be kind of hard, right? Tsuki no chika no tsudo. So, underground passageway of the moon, something like that. Right. Super NES, that becomes Lunar Path. J2E, Lunar Underground Pass. That's a long text for this little box. Did they expand that? And they must have. And naming way, Lunar Path. I remember being confused by all these different Lunar Path names when I was having to do stuff for the Google translation of it. Alright. Monsters in this chest. Who put this lunar chest here? Well, it's just more of those guys. So don't fight these guys in easy type. Oh yeah, there's a glitch with the Sylph spell. Do I have to put up where Titan is? But here's what the Sylph spell does if you're curious. Okay, it says Kaze no Sasayaki. So it's like whisper of the wind or murmur of the wind, Sasayaki. Whispering, whisper, secret talk, murmur of the wind, Kaze. So whisper of the wind is what that is. In Super NES, it just lists it as Sylph. J2E is whisper. And naming way is wind song. They're all very different. This is just how translation is. Okay, so the glitch with the Sylph spell is that so long as Rydia is not in the middle slot in the party, Sylph does not consume her MP. Okay, so she's not in the... But you need the MP at least, the right amount of MP, right? To cast it to begin with. It just doesn't take it. So it like... Yeah, it takes all of the health from one enemy and gives it to everyone in the party. I'm gonna keep just trying to steal stuff. I'll get lucky one of these years. Okay. So here's 25. Oh, looks like it might have already cost 25. We'll see if it counts here. Yeah, for some reason I thought it has to be in the top right of the list too. So people in the chat were also saying she just has to not be in the middle. The middle thing is new to me. I don't really know if that's true or not. So there might be like two conditions for the Sylph spell glitch. Whoa, that's some good experience. Rydia leveled up. She learned Faiga. Edge leveled up. He learned... Oh, we have a gold... yeah, a gold apple. Darn it, I'm looking for a silver one, though. I guess gold is pretty good too. Alright, so it indeed took her thing. So what I want to do is move the Sylph spell over here. We'll try this again. Get, fighting a new, we got back attacked. We have a new monster here. We got 3 dark grenades, which we'll take advantage of in a second. I want to look at this. Alright, in Japanese, well, we're fighting a giant worm, like those sandworms down on Earth, but these ones are red and scary looking. They look like evil blood worm things. In Japanese, it's called Abisu Uomu, so abyss worm. Abisu, does that show up in here? But it's abyss. The English word abyss. That becomes Luna Uomu. So Luna worm in easy type. Luna. Then that becomes in Super NES just red worm. They didn't think real hard on that. They probably didn't know what to do with Abisu at the time. J2E, abyss worm. And then naming way, abyss worm. Was just one S. Over here, let's do the, oh crap. This is tough. Alright, we just gotta, we're getting wrecked here. Cecil's having a bad day today. Okay, we're just gonna kill these guys. I'm gonna do a dark grenade explosion. We made it. We'll try the Sylph spell in a second. Still chugging potions on the moon. The shipping costs are crazy. Alright. Yeah, we've fought those before. Okay, we're gonna do the Sylph now. It's in the right spot. I didn't look at her MP there, oops. I should have looked at her MP. But the idea is that the Sylph glitch will make it so that she doesn't use up any MP doing it after all. Come on. You're not weak to anything. Remember that she's at 265. Then we'll do it again. Got an ether, but I don't want it. Okay, she's at 265 MP. We're doing the Sylph spell with 265 MP. If the glitch works, she will still have 265 MP after this. I need to heal up so we don't get super dead. Now we're just fighting the abyss worm. try Odin. I don't think it'll work, but let's try it. Oh, Cecil might kill it first. Oh, why am I doing another spell? I didn't look. Darn it, I'm messing myself up. It wasn't free? It was 240 when I cast Odin? Huh, I wonder what the deal is then. Maybe it's in some versions and not others? Or maybe I just didn't set it up right. Rosa leveled up, but she got no new spells. That's too bad. Get these chests. A lunar curtain, ski no katen. We already saw these before. The J2E calls it moon curtain, and Namingway calls it lunar veil. It's a moon curtain. And then Hoshi no Suna. This is stardust, or like star sand. Okay, ski no katen. So what's the difference between this, ski no katen, and hikari no katen? What's the light curtain? For a long time, okay. So the moon one does it for a long time, but the light one does it for just for less time. And stardust, is that an actual item that we can just use in battle? It uses it's dummied out in easy type and in Super NES. Hoshi no Suna item. J2E calls it Stardust and says that use it to cast Little Meteor. But didn't they call it something different in J2E? It wasn't Little Meteor, it was like something else. Namingway called it Stardust, hit all enemies with Stardust. So Moon Curtain lasts longer and gives you invulnerability to physical hits for the battle. Dang, that's so good, and like the game doesn't even tell you. So apparently the Sylph glitch only exists in Super NES and easy type versions. I wonder why. That's so strange. I wonder why. I feel like that could be like a good opening to discovering new things about the game. Like their development veered away from each other at some point. Maybe that's a key point. Alright. We got some new enemy here. We have two black puddings, and then we also have what's called in Japanese Luna Virusu. It's a Luna and a virus. So Luna virus. Name stayed the same and easy type. This becomes in Super NES Moon Cell, so it's no longer a virus necessarily, just a cell. J2E Luna virus. Okay. That's like straight up what's in Japanese there. Namingway, Lunar Cell. It's kind of like all of these three versions kind of like got and had a party together. Alright, not weak to anything particularly. Oh. Let's try to do this Odin. I doubt it will work, but let's try it. So Rydia is about to do her Odin spell. In Japanese, the text box above says Zan Tetsuken, which is the name of that sword that Odin uses. It also is like an actual type of sword in old Japan. It's like the iron cutting sword is what it literally means. Okay, Super NES, it just says Odin. J2E, iron sword. And Namingway goes pretty good with Zantetsu. They can't fit the Ken in there, but that's pretty good. It means cutting iron. There we go. We got some cool effects in there even. One hit killed all the rest of the enemies. I don't remember what like the condition is for having that work, but it's so nice when it works. So if a lunar cell takes damage but does not die, it will completely restore its own HP. And Rodimus Primal tried to make Zantetsu Ken fit. It's okay if it didn't fit. Zantetsu is more than enough probably. Out of all of those ones, that was the best one, I think. Okay. Let me just cottage on my way over. So Odin is basically 50-50 on the enemies without the boss bit set, although it's more complicated. May cause visual glitches in certain fights. So usually I'd want to skip the moon so fast, but I'm kind of taking my time. This time it's been a little more pleasant. The moon is not so terrible. Well, if you use Odin in the Scarmiglione fight coming up, it will split him and he'll disappear, but continue fighting you anyway. That's crazy. Okay, another underground passage on the moon. We got some of those bombs, so we'll just bomb the bombs. Come on, Rydia. You can do it. I like this mechanic, it's so much nicer. When you know how to play a game, it changes things. I'll have Cecil use some of his MP on Rydia as making up for what he did back in Mist Village. Here you go, Rydia. Alright, we're about to hit a really text-heavy part of the game. I'm a little worried that I'll feel rushed. But let's see where we can go. If we have to stop halfway through it, then we'll stop halfway through it. Alright, we're going into this like weird moon palace. Tsukinotami no Yakata. So it's the manor or the house of the moon people. We tend to, in translations, we seem to like the word Lunarian for that, Tsukinotami. So Lunarian, but Tsuki is moon, Tami is like a group of people or a nation of people. So they're like the people of the moon people. And Yakata is like a house or a small castle, mansion. Alright, Super NES goes with Lunar's Lair. It doesn't make much sense. It should say Lunarians probably, right? I'll mark that off. At the very least, make this over here. J2E, home of the Lunarians. I'll say that's okay. Although home could be better. And naming way, Lunarian Lair. The lair makes it sound like it's a hive of people. Stepped on a tile that changes or restored our MP. We're going to go over to this other one. Yeah, these weird baked bean tiles. Alright. Well, first, let's step on it. This tile will restore our HP, as I recall. And status. There's a problem, though. I'm pretty sure it's somewhere around here. Another one of those secret chests that is like actually a glitch. Where is it? Yeah, if you check the tile, you get the glitch chest to happen, which has monsters in it. And it's these Majinhe, which are like the red giants, as we know them from FF2. These are like magic soldiers, magic people soldiers, or magic god soldiers. They're kind of glitched out, as I recall. While we're here, Majinhe, we'll see them later. We'll talk to them later. Might be able to get Odin on them. Yeah, they're glitched, so they kept trying to do Petrify on us. Got some good gil, some good experience. So anyway, that's a weird thing. If you guys like weird things, add that to your weird thing purse. I don't remember if there's one on the other side. Let's just check. Nope. I like that we're seeing some like kind of artwork here, some like patterns and symbols. That could be good for like merchandise. Alright, so we've walked into what looks like the crystal room, but the crystals are on Earth, not here, so what's going on? A voice says, Yokuzo mairareta. You have done well to come here. In kind of a strange way they're saying it, but it's just basically a fancy way of saying welcome also. So all the translations say welcome. Although the vibe of the original Japanese text falls out of translation though. It could be improved. Alright, a bunch of the crystal flashings is happening. We're having the seizures. And then a sparkle appears where the crystal should be, but an old man appears there instead. An old man is floating. And Cecil's party unfolds. Cecil steps forward. It says, Anata wa. That means like, who are you? Oh, bunch of easy type changes later. Okay, who are you? Super NES, who are you? J2E, who are you? And naming way, who are you? Okay. So it just identifies him as old man. Dojin. Dojin is old man. Watashi wa tsuki no tami no nemuri o mamoru FuSoYa. So his name in Japanese is FuSoYa. It's a very Chinese sounding name to me. Just we don't have the kanji to look at, the Hansi. Alright. So I am FuSoYa, who protects the sleep of the people of the moon. So Super NES, FuSoYa becomes FuSoYa. I think I saw in some Japanese stuff, they spell this with two O's, so FuSoYa, but because he's a party member, they had to take out the extra O, resulting in FuSoYa. Fu is capital F, So is capital S, and Ya is capital Y. Very interesting. Super NES, I am FuSoYa, the guardian of Lunarians' slumber. Ooh, I need to close the door, window. Right. FuSoYa. Alright. J2E. I am FuSoYa, guardian of the sleeping people of the moon, the Lunarians. So they're adding the Lunarians term in there. It technically was not in there. There's nothing like that in the Japanese. But this is for the translation's sake. Rather than say people of the moon every time, it makes sense to have like a single phrase in English, so they're doing Lunarians. We'll say that's fine. Naming way, I am FuSoYa, with without the S and Y capitalized. I am FuSoYa, guardian of the Lunarians' slumber. Okay. What is J2E going on here? Are you crazy in here? Okay. Rosa then says, Ski no Tami. So she's repeating back what he just said, the people of the moon. Let's see what that is in Super NES. Lunarians. Okay. J2E, Lunarians, and naming way, Lunarians. And FuSoYa responds, Sayo. That means like indeed. Mo haruka mukashi no koto da. It was a long time ago now. It was long ago. It was long, long ago. Like very, very long ago. The haruka makes it very long. Okay. Indeed, it was very long ago. Kase to mokusei no aida ni atta hoshi ga zetsumetsu no kiki ni hinshita. Alright. So here, I'm going to have to explain some astronomy stuff in a second. But he's saying, indeed, it was very long ago. A planet, technically, Hoshi, if you look it up, Hoshi means star, but technically it's anything that emits a light in the sky, except for the sun or moon. So it can mean planet. Often Hoshi will mean planet in like a poetic sense. If you really want to say planet, there's an astronomical term, wakusei, but it only kind of makes sense if you're talking about it from astronomer's point of view, or if you're like on Star Trek or something. So Hoshi is fine. So Hoshi sometimes will mean planet. So saying it was long ago, there was a planet on the verge of destruction that existed between Kase and Mokusei. Kase is Mars and Mokusei is Jupiter. Although in Japanese, Kase, Ka is fire, and Sei is planet, and Moku is tree, and Sei is planet. So we have Mars and Jupiter, and those come from like Roman and Greek things, right? So it sounds weird to hear them say Mars and Jupiter, but in Japanese it's Kase, so it's just like the fire star and the tree star. So I'll bring that up. Okay, so long ago, there was a planet on the verge of destruction. Zenmetsu could mean like the extinction, that existed between Mars and Jupiter. Alright, Super NES. Yes, millennia ago. So now we're doing specific numbers. You don't know if it was millennia ago. It could have been 999 years ago, we don't know. So this is a little bit iffy, but we'll say it's fine. Millennia ago, the planet between Mars and Jupiter was about to be shattered. Nothing about shattering in here. It's just on the verge of destruction or extinction. I'm gonna mark off there. Okay, J2E. Correct. It's been a very long time. He's about to explain that this took place a long time ago. J2E tries to get around the weirdness of Mars and Jupiter in an interesting way. We are people from a long destroyed planet that was between the 4th and 5th planet of the solar system. Alright. Long destroyed planet is more like faced destruction. I'll mark that off. Solar system. They're getting around the Mars and Jupiter weirdness by saying the numbers of the system now. But they don't need to do that. So I'm going to mark off 2 on there. So what was that? It says they're trying to find an old set of dominoes from the 1970s where the FuSoYa or something was on the back. Alright. Okay, so the blue planet is where we live. Where we would call that Earth, but they just call it the blue planet. Alright, naming way. Yes, long, long ago, the planet between Jupiter and Mars was destroyed. Hinsuru. Like to draw near, to be on the verge of. It's not that was destroyed. So that is wrong, but it's interesting that you put Jupiter and Mars flipped like that. I wonder what that was about. Okay, long, long ago was destroyed. Alright, we'll say that we'll continue. 生き残った者たちは船で青き星へと脱出した。So the people who, the survivors, the people who still were alive, so I guess they were on the verge of it, but they didn't meet it. But probably a lot of people died still. So the survivors escaped to the blue planet on a ship. Bring that down. Super NES. The people who survived this calamity escaped by ships, okay, multiple, and headed for the blue planet. We don't know the plurality of Fune here. It could be ships or it could be a single one. It's hard to say. It would make sense if it was just the one that we have. Alright, J2E. During the final days of our world, we built a ship and traveled to the blue planet. No, nothing about survivors of our world. We built a ship. Built the ship, I don't know. And escaped to the blue planet, not traveled. Right. Naming way. Some of the survivors. Technically, some isn't in there. It could just be the survivors. Like, this doesn't need to be in there. But I don't know, like, maybe if you step back and look at it, maybe there were some people. Like, you could say Zemus didn't. I don't know. But technically, some isn't necessarily in the Japanese. Okay, some of the survivors escaped on a ship and headed for your blue planet, Earth. So Earth doesn't need to be there. Just saying the blue planet. The Aoki Hoshi is such a unique phrase. It's kind of semi-classical, that key in there. It could be capitalized like this. For blue planet Earth. We'll say that's fine. It looks like you're probably going to be combining things in a second, so I won't mark off yet or anything. Okay. Cecil then says Aoki Hoshi, and that means blue planet, blue star. Cecil says in Super NES, the blue planet? Uh-oh, J2E. Alright, J2E has added in some text here. The journey was long, ... We had to hibernate for survival. Is that in here yet? They might be moving things. Alright, I'm gonna not mark off stuff yet. I'm gonna say they've moved things, but remember this for later. Okay. J2E, the blue planet? Okay, good. Naming way is an attempt to save space. A lot of the text was crunched down, so Cecil's line here is missing. Okay. FuSoYa says in response, Sonatara no sumu daichi da, the land upon which you people live. Super NES, your land, Earth. It's kind of weird. You could just translate it as that, where the land where you live, the place where you live. Daichi is land, where is it? Daichi. Daichi is ground, earth, the solid earth. Earth is in land. So your land, Earth. That's kind of weird, but it's okay. J2E, the planet that you live on. Okay. Planet instead of Earth, but we'll say it's fine. Naming way. Your blue planet, Earth. Alright, we'll say that's fine. しかし、まだ進化の途中にあったため、その者たちはもう一つの月を作り出し、そこで長い眠りについたのだ。Alright, so that's the end of that. Alright, so the land where you people live. However, as it was still in the middle of evolution, as like evolution was still like mid-evolution there, those people created another moon and then went into a long sleep there. Okay, Super NES. However, the people of the Earth were still in the process of evolution. Thus, they created, this they is a kind of bad English. We were just talking about the people of Earth. The people of Earth didn't create another moon, right? It was the people from outside. So this they I don't like. I'm gonna mark that off. J2E. But the creatures of your planet were still evolving. So we created another moon and continued sleeping. Technically not we, those people, but I'll say it's fine. Continued sleeping. No, they went into a long sleep, not continued sleeping. Alright. Naming way. However, this planet was still in the midst of its evolution, you see? Okay. I like that. Thus the travelers... Ooh, those are good. You're getting around that mistake Super NES has. Thus the travelers made a second moon and went into a deep slumber. Let's say long. Alright. I don't know where this line is coming from, so I'm going to push this in here. I'm sorry that I can't like super look at the chat right now because I'm too focused. Alright, oops. So Edge is going to have a new line in here for some reason. Okay, so let me look back at this J2E stuff. The people who survived this calamity... wait, that's not J2E. The journey was long. We had to hibernate for survival. Hello, Poe.
Hi. I'm joining.
Oh, you're here? Okay. We're talking about moon people. We'll be going in a little bit, but let's talk about moon people. So this had to hibernate for survival. Okay, so the journey was long. That was made up. 1, 2, 3. We had to hibernate for survival. 1, 2, 3.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I had to go back through all of this and check that out. Okay, so J2E just hit negative 1200. Oh, that's not the right one. Alright. Oh, Super Famicom. Super Easy Type. Super Easy Type. Super R Type. Alright. So Easy Type has some new text here, where FuSoYa is saying stuff at the end. The land where you live. Shikashi mada ningen wa umarete nakatta tame. However, because humans have still not been born yet, sono mono tachi wa tsuki o mo hitotsu tsukuri, soko de nagai nemuri ni tsuita no da. Okay. However, because humans had not been yet born there, the people, the lunar people, the Lunarians, made another moon, is what that says, and then went to long sleep. So they're just saying humans specifically, rather than the middle of evolution. I used to say talk about the middle of evolution. It was mid-evolution on the blue planet. Alright, so that's kind of interesting that it brings up humans. Alright, I don't know what this edge line is. Does this come in later? We'll say that it will in a second. So Edge now walks up, and now he says his line. It seems weird for the little puppet play that's happening, for Edge to walk up and then say nothing like this down here in Namingway. So if you can somehow move that line that I just posted, and they are the Lunarians, that should be on this box here. All right. Okay, so Edge says, "Sore ga tsuki no tame ka," and they are the people of the moon, huh? And so those are the people of the moon. So those are the Lunarians. Yeah, we got some bunch of stuff going on here. Super NES. Edge just says Lunarians. Oh man. I'm gonna just mark that off because it's kind of befuddling me because I don't remember what he just said. Alright, J2E. Another moon? That's not right. He's saying, and so that's what the people of the moon are. That's what the Lunarians are. Okay, that mistake was always in there in J2E. And then, according to Namingway, and they are the Lunarians. Okay, very good there. Okay, keep going to the wrong box here. Okay, so another moon is wrong, and then, okay, that was right. Next line, FuSoYa says, "Shikashi aru mono wa nemuri o kiratta." However, there was one who hated sleep. Super NES. Suddenly, FuSoYa says something strange, but he refused it. It doesn't make sense. Who's he? There was one who... Okay, J2E. But one of us refused to sleep. I guess you could say that. It's more like he hated Namingway, but one among us refused to sleep. Would have liked better delivery there. Despised it, kirata, hate, to dislike, to loathe. It's not refused, although I guess that technically happened too. Right. Aoki hoshi ni sonzai suru mono no subete o yakiharai. Soko ni jibun tachi ga yameba yoi to kangaeta. Okay. So he thought up the idea of burning away everything that exists on the blue planet, and then sumeba yoi, soku ni jibun tachi ga sumeba yoi to kangaeta, with the idea of everyone of all the Lunarians living there instead. So this one person who hated sleep considered just like erasing everything on Earth so that the Lunarians could live there instead. That's the idea. Super NES, but he refused it. He tried to make the Earth his place to live. Alright, so a lot of details coming out of there. I'm going to mark off 2 at least. And then, like, he was trying to do it for everyone, for all the Lunarians, not just for himself, so I'm marking that off too. Okay, J2E has a big text box here. What the heck? But one of us refused to sleep. He wanted to purge your planet of all living beings so we could settle there. Okay, that's what's being said. Yakiharai is to, like, burn everything away. It's probably what the tower, what the Giant of Babel is, like, meant to purge us all. Oh, this is such a big text. Okay, so that's in there. I like that. Namingway. But one among us refused to sleep. He wished to raise, that's pretty good raise for the Yakiharai, to raise all life on this blue planet. Technically not life, but all things that exist. And claim it as his own. No, not claim it as his own, so that everyone else could live there. So he was kind of doing it for the group, not for himself. That's kind of a big point. J2E gets that best here. I don't know what's coming up on J2E though. Right. Sumebo yoi. I read that as Yamebo yoi. That doesn't even make sense. It's not even good grammar. Rydia says, Hidoi. dot 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 exclamation, that's terrible, or how horrible, or something like that. Super NES is who? That's wrong, I marked that off.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, J2E says, how awful. Okay, that's good. Naming way, that's awful. Okay, very good. Have we gotten to anything weird in here yet? Not yet. Okay, FuSoYa continues, dot dot dot. Watashi wa sono mono o fuji kometa. That means, dot dot dot. I sealed that person away. I locked that person away, I sealed them away, something like that. Okay. Shikashi nagai nemuri no aida ni sono mono wa shinen o kyouka shita. Shinen is kind of a fancy word, let me double check that. Shinen. Thought? Just thought? Okay, I guess so. Okay. So, I sealed that person away. However, during the long sleep, he strengthened his thoughts, or he reinforced his thoughts, or that thought of his. Exclamation. In easy type, that becomes Seishin o Kyokashita. So his mind, he strengthened his mind. Okay, Super NES. I forced him to sleep, but his thoughts were still awakened. That's not right English. I forced him to sleep. Also, like, I wanted to say that he grew stronger in the sleep, which is kind of a strange thing. Alright, J2E. I have to use this little arrow here, I can't, this is so long now. Uh-oh. J2E. Dot dot dot. He was a brilliant man, but impatient. Okay, that
Insertion.
Was 1, 2, 3. Here, you can play with these buttons if you want. So here's like, this is multiple things. This is the bad side.
Yeah.
This is good, and this is extra. So it's like, if you want bad, there's bad. So just choose anyone. Alright. He was a brilliant man, but impatient. We tried to reason with him, but he wouldn't listen. 1, 2, 3. Go ahead, Poe. Just choose any random one.
I clicked it. Oh, it took a while.
Yeah, sometimes it does that. Instead, he became bitter and vengeful. 1, 2, 3. He created the Tower of Babel to give mankind the tool to destroy themselves. Okay, here we go. We're back into normalcy. It was then I forced that man to sleep, but his mind was still awake. Okay, that's not even right. I'm gonna mark off 1. He wasn't still awake. I guess he was, but he says it reinforced his thoughts or his mind. Also, it says that it sealed him away, technically. So it looks like this is pulling from Super NES to some degree. Some of this weirdness. Alright. A lot of this was all in here from the start. All of it was. J2E's having some lore sanity. Okay. Naming way. With my powers, I forced him to sleep. You don't need to necessarily say with my powers. I just sealed him away. Like, sealing away is different from sleep. Sleep is in the second line. Sleep is implied during his long sleep. I forced him to sleep. However, he channeled his evil during his slumber. It just more reinforced his thoughts. He strengthened his thoughts. I won't mark off on that though. And better delivery there. Right. What more crazy stuff is going to happen in a second? Okay. その思念がそなたらの星の邪悪な者たちをより悪しき者とし、クリスタルを集めさせたのだ。So his thoughts, his like mental thoughts, made the people, or made those of your planet even more evil, or made like the evil people of your planet even more evil, and then he had them gather the crystals, assemble the crystals. So his evil thoughts made, or his thoughts made the evil people eviler, and had those people gather the crystals. So he was behind everything all along, technically. And if we put everything together, we can see that, oh, that's probably Golbez, that's probably Cain, that's probably all those, the fake King of Baron. That was all this guy all along.
And he was channeling evil, that makes sense suddenly.
Channeling? Well, we're going to see how that plays out, because there's still a lot of text. Well, I guess that's all the text.
Yeah, we bottom of the text.
Whoa, I better not go too fast on that. Whoa. J2E's... Alright. Uh-oh. Alright. So his thoughts made the evil people are evil and had them gather the crystal. Super NES. That's not even in there.
Yeah, no, it didn't go to a different box yet.
Crap. It might be that this doesn't even exist in the next part. Alright. So we'll say first I'll mark off 1, 2. That's some important text though, so I might want to take off more later. The easy type gives us some stuff. そのテレパシーがそなたらの星の悪の者たちをより邪悪な者とし. Okay. So Shinen just thought. It's kind of a weird word to use. They used the word telepathy instead. So he's been using telepathy all along, according to easy type. That would make more sense to use telepathy there. And also these words for evil got simplified down for easy type readers. Alright. I already took off those points. So J2E's time in the sun. Alright. Over these eons, he became consumed with hatred. 1, 2, 3. Increasing his psychic powers to destroy every living thing. Okay, this part's a little weirder. Since he is sealed below, he uses his powers to control those with a dark soul. Okay, since he is sealed below, I'm gonna mark off 2 on that because that's made up. Uses his powers, we'll say, he uses his thoughts, his telepathy, to control those with a dark soul. So, but it doesn't say to gather the crystals. It doesn't say to make them even more evil. Just to control them.
They just predicted Dark Souls.
Dark Souls 2? Alright, and I don't know what's happening in naming way here, so we'll just do 1, 2. Alright. Okay, I think we're through this. Cecil walks forward. Oh no, there's so much text, Poe.
Well, I was gonna ask about dinner. Should I just order something?
We're doing backwards. I'm trying to do backwards. Is it working? Ah, crap. Alright, I'm just going to leave it here. Alright, so unfortunately we do have to stop here. I'm getting real hungry, and J2E's moon text is just too much. Alright, so Rodimus Prime. If you're not familiar, Rodimus Primal in the chat right now. He's been in the chat for a lot of today. He's the person or one of the main people behind the Naming Way patch. So please give them your candy.
Hello, welcome.
Alright, so we're gonna end it strangely here. I was hoping that this scene would not take so long. Alright. We're going to continue the scene tomorrow, and then we're going to go do the Bahamut Cave. And then after that, we'll probably do the tower, or I mean the Giant of Babel, but we probably won't get through the Giant in time. Alright, the current leaderboard, Super NES is at negative 1029, J2E negative 1224, and Naming Way at negative 1015.
They're winning.
Where can things go from here? It's really hard to say. There's not a whole lot of text left in the game, but J2E is ramping up fast, and we only have the ending to kind of wait for. Oh shoot, I just remembered the J2E's ending, and it has some bad stuff. Right. So I'm sorry that we have to break off like this, but food needs to be in me now. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for coming by, everyone.
See you guys later.